This broadcast will start in 15 seconds. This broadcast will start in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The Voice of Stockton. For more information on The Voice of Stockton, go to thevoiceofstockton.org.
The views and opinions expressed in the following program do not necessarily reflect those of KXVS, The Voice of Stockton, or its parents, affiliates, management, and staff.
Hello, this is Darius with Divine Numerology. Everyone, thanks for tuning in this week on today's show. Today we're going to be talking about new insights and observations. So I had a guest that was going to be on the show today, and it turned out that she had something that she had to take care of. It didn't quite pan out this particular week. However, I have some very interesting observations that I've made throughout this particular week that I'd definitely like to share with you guys. And for those of you that are on my personal page that are watching from Facebook Live, feel free to drop in your birthday and ask me a question if you like, so we can go in detail about certain things you might be experiencing, in your life right now. For those of you guys who want to know how to get in touch with me, the way you can get in touch with me is through my Facebook, Darius Oliver, or you can go to you can go to Darius Oliver Divine Numerologist on Facebook as well. That's my page. You can find me on Instagram at Divine Numerology 1515, and then you can also find me at you can also find me on Twitter at Divine Numerology 1515 as well. I just got that Twitter account recently. So hey guys, I see you guys all coming on. I see some familiar faces. JNB, Kevin Black. Man, he sounds so familiar. Kevin Black. Tammy Lee. Hey guys, good to see you. Haley Williamson, Amanda Spencer. So yes, welcome to my show, and thanks for coming and checking me out again. So what I want to talk about today is the number of today. The number of the day. Today is the 18th. So today being the number of the 18th, it corresponds with the numbers 1 and 8, and also 9. So because of 1, it's dealing with the energies of the sun. It's dealing with independence. It's dealing with doing things, initiating things, new starts, fresh beginnings. Then when we have the 8 with the 18, that's bringing in the energy of Saturn. Saturn is all about boundaries. Saturn is about restriction. Saturn's about limitation, but it's also about building a solid structure. It's about boxes and cubes and knowing what one is willing to do and what one is willing not to do. Setting up proper boundaries for yourself. When we have the 1 and the 8, we add those together and we get 9. The 9 is it's ruled by the planet Mars. Mars is known as a very warrior-like planet. It's a soldier. Mars represents anything dealing with something that's won over a battle or a conquest of some kind. So what a person may notice, is that you may have certain conflicts on a particular day, being 18 or something like that, because of the 9 energy. But 9 doesn't only represent conflicts. 9 also represents humanitarianism. It represents looking at things from a universal appeal, from how everyone can be benefiting, looking at the big picture. That is another energy of the number 9. 9, when we just look at the pure number itself, represents wisdom and integrity. 1 is confidence and creativity. 8 is abundance and power. And it's also connection and disconnection. And so we're talking about these different energies that are interacting together. And it produces different results in different people's lives. Now, the number 18 corresponds to the 18th card in the tarot deck. And the 18th card in the tarot deck is known as the moon. So the moon, let me see if I can grab those cards real quick to show you. Oh yeah, thanks. Let's see. So the moon is one of the cards that it deals with the energy of confusion. So today, a lot of us might be feeling some confusion over things that, we've been experiencing, not quite being so clear, but then not everybody's going to be feeling that. But the overall energy, a little bit of confusion. Why? Because the moon as a card in the tarot is associated with the shadows in the night, and trying to decipher the meaning and figure out how things are playing a part in our life. So, and I'm looking for the moon card to show you guys. So that, we might be feeling some of that today. 1 and 8, it adds up to 9. We got 9. The 9th card in the tarot is the Hermit. The Hermit is all about, if you look at the card, which I'll show you, the Hermit is holding his lamp. He's holding a lamp. And as he's holding this lamp, he's walking at night. When do you see the moon? When does the moon shine? The moon shines at night. Even though we see it in the day, it shines at night. And it casts its shadow. The difference between the shadow of the sun versus the shadow of the moon is the shadow that is coming from the sun is clear and well defined. And we see the direction that the light's coming from. But with the moon, it's darker. And we may be seeing several different shadows at the same time. And so trying to decipher which one is our real shadow. So it deals with looking at our dark side. That's why there's that expression, the dark side of the moon. Doing it, so the moon can resonate with doing shadow work. Shadow work means confronting the shadows of ourselves, looking at the dark sides of ourselves. And the parts of ourselves that are not so comfortable to see and to look at. Here's the moon card. If you take a look, I'm going to show the other cameras too, guys. So if we look at the moon card, you'll notice that the moon's looking down, of course. There's 2 dog-like figures. One's a coyote, one's a dog. There's a lobster or a crab coming out of the water. These are all symbols. But what's really important is that it's nighttime. Here's the Hermit. And the Hermit, he's walking at night carrying a lamp. But if you notice, his eyes are closed. The Hermit's eyes are closed. Why are his eyes closed? Well, because he teaches us that our guidance is seen from looking within. The Hermit is one of the big things that the Hermit teaches us is that we find true guidance from going within. It's very interesting because before I got here today, I was actually looking in a Hindu text. It was talking about God guiding us. He teaches us when we're in our quiet moments, he guides us from the inside. he reveals. And so that's what the hermit teaches us. He has the lamp. Why does he have the lamp? It's because it's a reminder that the light is inside the lamp.
Oh, didn't mean to like interrupt you or anything, but
Oh yeah, by the way, this is Ron.
Yes.
And he's doing the equipment for us, so go ahead, man, ask the question.
Okay,
Please.
yeah. I thought it was real interesting how you sort of, I guess, stated how the guidance comes from inside of us. So everything is still like symbolic, though. How he still has the torch lit and everything. It's more or less he's looking for something, but it's not with his physical eyes. More or less, just.
That's wrong, guys.
Yeah, it's good. But yeah, it's more or less. It's hard to describe, really. Basically, what you're saying is all the answers are inside of us, right?
Right.
Already.
Yep.
It's just more or less we're so like busy trying to look outside for like other outside sources and things like that to satiate our hunger and things like that, for things we look for and stuff like that, really. So it's all just symbolic.
Right. It's all symbolic, but and you bring up a really good point, because with the hermit, he reminds us that it's important to look within, but also at the same time, before we learn how to look within, we go through a period where we're looking outside, and that's necessary. It's all necessary. Everyone has their own way of learning. Everyone has their own way of experiencing life. And the thing about it is, when you look outside and you're looking and you're asking this person this and you're asking that person this question, you'll notice that the things you see are really reflections of you anyway. Whenever you ever heard that saying, when you point one finger at somebody, you got three pointing back?
Yeah.
That's because we're only able to see in others what we ourselves are.
Okay. Oh, wow. Oh, never thought about that. It's actually really interesting.
And that's not just the bad, that's the good. Like, if you notice, like, oh man, that person's a really good speaker, you probably have that ability too. Most likely. You ever heard the thing, game recognized game?
Yeah. Everybody's really just reaching out, trying to find something to latch on to that they find similar, or what they want, I guess, to themselves, really.
And that's a big part of what the hermit, shows. It's, we experience the world as we ourselves are. Every person that we meet is every person we meet is a reflection of ourselves if we were in that person's situation. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. But I can only speak from my own experience. This is only my perspective, right?
Yeah.
So, and everyone has their own unique perspective on things. But that's a bit about the energy of today, which is 18-9. I want to give a shout out to everyone whose birthday is today. If you are born on, because look, the 9 is an energy of completion. 9 is the energy of completion. It's an energy of things that have come to fruition in a sense. We have the 1 and 8. 1, to get to 9, you have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You have to go through the entire cycle of the numbers. And that's what the 18 also can represent. So shout out to everyone. If you guys are thinking of, concluding something that you've been working on for a long time, this would be a great day, to do that. Wrap up any long projects that you've been, doing. Anything that you want to do that is long term, it might be, a good idea not to start it today. Because today is more along the lines of things that are coming to a completion. Let's see. We got some people asking questions, which I love. So if you guys have questions, make sure you drop them in the box. Let's see what we got. We got JNB. So JNB, you're born on the 19th, and you want to know what the 19th is. 19, we have that energy of 1 and 9. 1 is independence, confidence, creativity. Again, we have the number 9, which is wisdom and integrity. But take a look. Today's the 18th. You're asking about, your birthday, which is the 19th of October. So the 19th is, in the tarot, it's the number of the sun. The sun shines after the moon sets. And vice versa. So that's their relationship. But what the sun represents is the illusions are gone. The moon casts its shadow. Whatever happens on a day or something associated with the moon may not be as it seems, because the moon is about illusions. The key is not believing the illusions that it's gonna look one way, but it's not. It's, it might be this way. Why? Because the moon is gonna make something look different. It's dark. The sun brings illumination and brightness. We're able to see clearly. That's the energy of 19. 19 is also referred to as a karmic number in numerology, and people that are born on the 19th, like yourself, Jay, it indicates that in the past, in a past life, there may have been some things related to authority that may have been abused or misused in some way or fashion, or perhaps you may have been oppressed in a past life, and you're specifically here to work with that particular energy. I think it's really interesting. Not only are you born on the 19th, which is 1 and 9 is 10, and then 1 and 0 is 1, but you're also born in the 10th month, which is also correlating to the number 1. So this would explain if you are in a situation in your life where you keep being put in positions of leadership, or people around you want you to be in that, or if that's something that you strive for, is those positions of authority, because the one is the energy of leadership, entrepreneurialism, doing things on your own. And the 9 is essentially leadership as well. The 1 leads out of initiative. It's like, okay, I'm going to lead. I'm going to do this. The 9 leads from behind. The 9 prefers to lead by example. So you have those two, you have those two right there that are right next to each other, right? And then you're born in the 10th month. The number 10 corresponds to the 10th card in the tarot, which is the Wheel of Fortune, which is a card of changes, a lot of changes, right? But it also indicates, since it's the month of your birth, things related to, again, new cycles. And you will have some new cycles opening up for you pretty soon. If you want to know more about that, message me so we can go into it more. But we got Tammy Lee asking, she just posted a birthday, November 6th. The 6 is love, harmony, vision, and acceptance. It's a very domestic energy, very homebound, home-based. It resonates with nurturing. But there's a flip side. Every number has a flip side. Every number has a light, and every number has a shadow. You know, the 6 can also represent the need to learn nurturing, the need to experience and receive nurturing. and being able to express that in our relationships with other people. But the 6 in itself feels a really strong duty to those that look to it for guidance, that it helps and assists. Let's see. All right, let's see who else has some questions. Oh, I think Tammy Lee asked what 244 means. And, you know, because you know what? We see repeating numbers. We see, you know, like 333, 444, all this stuff like that. 244, when you get that, wow. So, some insights. A lot of times, too, when you're getting these angel numbers, these repeating number sequences, it could also be bringing your attention to your astrological houses that number rules. One of the things that I discovered is recently, I was watching some videos on this, and I learned of this technique in Vedic astrology. It's how you can interpret the numbers according to the houses. Every house has that number as well, just like tarot cards. Number 2 correlates to the second house, of course, because it's number 2. Second house deals with family. It deals with money, income, finances. It also deals with the mouth communication, taste, food, things that you like to eat. And it deals with what you say and how you speak verbally, but also the number 44. So she asked about 44. So 44 corresponds to the 8th house in Vedic astrology. Coincidentally, 4 and 4, not really coincidentally, but 4 and 4 adds up to 8. But that's not how we get it corresponding to the 8th house. It's slightly different, but for the sake of this, we'll just go with that, right? 44 is a master number known as the master worker. It is associated with angels, but in Vedic astrology, 44 relates to the 8th house, which is the darkest of the houses in astrology. So what's really interesting here is because the 8th house corresponds to the occult, the hidden, the secrets, things that are not known. It correlates to the ending of something as well. With the 244 combination, it could be reminding us to pay attention to, or it could be actually speaking about, communicating about occult topics, doing something along those lines. When you add 244 together, you get the number 10. And the 10th house in astrology, Vedic astrology, corresponds to the career, what you do out in the world. So communicating about occult topics as a career, and doing those types of things. It's really interesting how that's like playing out right there. That's really interesting. So Tammy Lee, I wonder, so if you want to drop in the feedback, what you think about that interpretation. Then when you add the 1 and the 0, of course you get 1, which relates to the first house, which is you. So, it could be emphasizing taking action on, becoming perhaps more active, because the 44 energy is about the master worker. 2 is about having to do with communication as well, speaking, because the second house deals with that. And how it can, the 1 will be the first house, how does it benefit you? So, that's my interpretation of that. So tell me how that resonates with you. We got Tim Voyer, born on, looks like January 9th. We got 9. Yep. Tim, he commented earlier, he said the 9 though. Yeah. Because he's born 1/9/1990. I'm born in 1991. We got a lot of 9s. The 9, you know, just bringing more attention to that. Charles Young, he says, oh, you know, his birthday is the 27th. 2 and 7 is 9. Excuse me. 2 and 7 is 9 when you add that together. 27, you know, we got cooperation and balance. That's moon energy, lunar energy from the moon, from the number 2. Some people would say otherwise. Then we have 7, which in Chaldean, which would correspond to the south node of the moon, which is K2. So we have that relationship there of the moon and the south node. And so it'd be really interesting to see where those play a part in your astrology chart, on the Vedic line, the Vedic chart. But when we add the 2 and the 7, yes, we get 9. That's another variation. 27 corresponds to the Ace of Wands, which is the 27th card in the tarot deck. And Kevin Black's son, he just commented on, and he said that his son turns 8 on the day of the eclipse, which is the 20th. Today's the 18th, so in 2 days, his son turns 8. And so that'll be very interesting. I look forward to hearing, you know, how that day goes. Not that anything crazy would, you know, happen or whatever like that. Someone asked me, is there a book that I recommend for Vedic astrology? Yes, there is. The book that I would recommend is Brihat Hora Shastra. I hope I said that right. And for those of you that want to know more about Vedic astrology, you can find out more from a guy named KRS. KRS. I learned so much from him. Man, I've been following him for like years. Well, ever since I first started, you know, really getting really deep into numerology. I was actually, he has numerology videos too. Really good guy. His name is Raj Kapil. He's one of the many sources of information that are out there about Vedic astrology. So I'd recommend that. Let's see. Other people. So, okay, Kevin says KRS-One. No, not the rapper. Not the rapper, yeah. Yeah, because... I was
about to ask you, too.
Yeah.
To be completely honest.
He's like, what? I didn't know KRS was doing Vedic astrology readings. What? Okay. You know, no, not him. It's, he's... Just type in KRS astrology on YouTube. And he has a lot of really good videos. There's also Claire Nocti. And she talks about a lot of the physical features of people that have similarities with certain planetary alignments. Those are 2 people that I would recommend right at the moment as far as Vedic astrology. But I recommend that book, Brihat Horahastra. Man, I messed that word up. I'll be able to post it after the show so you guys can see what it actually looks like, or, you know, see how to spell it at least. But it's actually, this is the ancient old texts of astrology. You know, a lot of people don't know, you know, the actual origins of astrology. It has come about, you know, it's been around for a really long time. It's been around for thousands of years, if not, you know, millions. Why? Because the planets have been around for millions of years. So, you know, and how they originally learned about the planets, if you look into these things, is through meditation. They learned about these planets through meditation. They were the gifted seers. They were able to perceive the placements of the planets and know what corresponds to what. So that's on that note. Now today, I mentioned the number of the day, right? The 18th. But when you take 18 and you add it to the month, and then you add it to the year, what do we get? Well, you take 18, what's 18 plus 1? That's 19. Add it to 12 because that's the universal year. 19 plus 12 is 31. Today is a 4-day overall. So, and we have 31. Now, let me double check, make sure I'm right, make sure I'm correct on this. 18 plus 1 is 19 plus 12, that's 29, 30, 31. Yep, 31. So, 31, that corresponds to the 5 of Wands. That corresponds to the 5 of Wands. And so, with the 5 of Wands energy, we have competition or some type of feeling of like combativeness. The 5 in the tarot corresponds to severity on the tree of life in the Kabbalah. You know, that's what any of the 5s in the tarot corresponds to the 5th sphere on the tree of life, and the 5th sphere is associated with severity. So you'll find that theme play out in any of the cards that are of the 5 suits, right? The suits of the number 5. 5 of Wands, 5 of Cups, 5 of Pentacles, 5 of Swords. There's going to be something, there's going to be some part of a challenge there with that particular energy. So when you have that particular energy resonating on the same day that you have an 18, the moon, it could be talking about some conflicts that are due to confusion and misunderstandings, because the moon, confusion, not always though, but in many cases. And then the 5 of Wands. In fact, let me see if I can find the 5 of Wands to show you what it looks like. Because the pictures on the cards really illustrate what the meaning of the card is. So let's see. So take a look. Just showing the top cameras real quick. What does that look like to you? Guys, what does that look like to you? Does it, you know, it could be friendly, fun competition, or it can be exactly.
Torture.
You know, so you have that mixed with the energy of the day. What does it mean? It means not to take anything personal that happens today. And to know that the way things may seem is not necessarily be how they are. Especially, you know, before communication has been established, which 5 represents also. You know, today's a 31 day. This is the 31st card in the tarot. 3, what does 3 have to do with? 3 has to do with expression and sensitivity. We may be feeling very sensitive today. We may be feeling, you know, pressure. We may be watching the news, seeing what's going on with the president, the White House, you know, which side, the Republican or the Democrat, or in between, figuring out which lives matter, you know, all these type of different things that our mind might be on. And it's, what's really important is, you know, what is 18, 9, the hermit, you know, kind of taking some quiet space and going within, you know, and remembering that this is just the energy of the day. That's it. All it is a temporary vibration. And I tell you, the beauty of this is, if you were to speak to me about 3 weeks ago and we were to look at this day, guess what? It would show you this exact energy. It would show you the exact energy. I'm not telling you, I'm not just making this up. This is stuff that, you know what, if I would have calculated 3 weeks ago, what is the 18th of January 2019, what's that energy gonna be like? Man, look, this card would have came up, and this card would have came up. The moon, hey, because guess what? It's gonna be the 18th, and it's gonna equal this card, right? However, when you take the 3 and the 1 and you add that together, what number do you get? What's 3 plus 1? It's 4. What's the 4th card in the tarot? The Emperor. 4. Structure, stability, process, order. What's 3? It's expression and sensitivity. What's 1? Initiative. Some of us, in taking the initiative to express ourselves, can create structure and stability and, you know, more order out of chaos, out of confusion. But what if we don't do that? Then what's 4 also? 4 can also be stagnancy. 4 can be things that are feeling like they're restricted, limited, stuck, like it's not moving. 4 can represent boxes, you know, being stuck in a box. Think outside the bun, you know, like Taco Bell says, or used to say. I don't know if they still say that, but it's, you know, thinking within our own perspective, you know. So that's the energy, you know, of this universal day. And I'll tell you what, every person that's watching this right now, we're all being influenced by this particular energy, whether it's showing in the positive light, the light of it, or the shadow of it. And where it comes to these energies, this is, if you guys have any questions and you guys want to know more, remember, you can message me, but this is the part you may want to know more about. Yes, we have the universal energies, which I've shown to you, but we also have the specific personal energies to each individual person. And that's based on your unique birthday, your birth month, and the birth day that you have. So even though, you know, we might be having an 18 or 9, you know, for me in particular, my personal day, well, I'll tell you, what's my personal day? Today is 19. I'm concluding a personal 1 year. So it's from 19, add that to January. That's 20 plus 18. That is 38. See, thanks. Yep. So 18, 38. What's that? Today is, for me, the 38th card in the tarot is the Queen of Cups. So in my particular situation, for me, if I were to talk to someone and tell them the meaning of this, the Queen of Cups would indicate that what's the cups? In the tarot, the cups are associated with emotions. What's the queen? The queen is a woman, a mature woman. A mature woman or mature women. And women in the tarot are associated with the emotional side of things, water. Women represent the element of water in the tarot because it's the divine feminine. So the emotions of women in your life. So that is something that, for me in particular, this particular day would be resonating with me. And that's based on the number of the day. For me, my personal number. And I can attest to the accuracy of this card. It's so interesting how numerology plays a part in our lives and in, you know, in what we're experiencing. So if you guys want to know what your personal number vibration is for the day and which card corresponds to it, what it means. If you feel stuck, if you feel like you don't know exactly where to go and you need a little bit of illumination to help guide you back to your inner light, you need, the numbers are really good about guiding us back to ourselves, guiding us back to within, not just so that we stay looking stuck, not that there's anything bad with looking in, but so that we're able to look within and also understand what's going on outside of us. If you guys want that, message me and we can talk about working together, see what your next few months has in store for you, what the next few weeks or years even has in store for you, for your numerology, astrology, or even tarot. So thanks guys for tuning in. I appreciate you all for coming back to the show. If you guys want to get a hold of me, my number is 209-898-4103. That's 209-898-4103. I love talking to you guys and doing this. So you all have an awesome weekend and peace.